What I wore this week, there was a real mixture this week, but generally speaking, I went for stuff after Sunday anyway that was going to be good for cold weather, because we had snow on Sunday, and it's been a long time since we've had a December this cold. In fact, I can't remember the last time that it snowed in December, at least in a way where it settled. And on Sunday it was absolutely crazy. I reckon we had at least 4 inches everywhere in London, which again is even more unusual because it's normally warmer in London than everywhere else. So it was just mad cold. And then it got down to -6 at one point. So I'm sitting in my bedroom with my heating on, and it's still pretty chilly today. There's still snow everywhere. Our street is just ice. So I went for a lot of cozy stuff after it snowed, and you'll probably notice that there's quite a lot of stuff that's just like, please keep me warm and keep me cozy, because I've got to go to work in the snow and the ice and try not to break my neck. So, but having said all that, I had a very snowy, icy style start to the week, because last Saturday in the morning when I got up before I had my shower, I just spritzed a bit of this Body Shop Wild Pine Eau de Toilette, and I've actually sold the orange one. I sold that one on just because it's basically sold out everywhere, and I didn't think I was going to use it because I didn't really like the wood in it. So I just put it on eBay and someone snapped it up immediately, so that's already winging its way to someone else. This one, as I said in the video where I reviewed it, is properly unisex. It's very fresh. It only lists pine, mint and sandalwood, and I can smell all of those elements. There's something green tea about this. But again, it's like an outdoor Christmas tree with candy canes on it, so you've got that woodiness, you've got the lovely kind of piney resinous smell, but that's quite subtle, and you've got mint, but it's not sickly and it's not too masculine. It has got a sweetness to it, especially the more it dries down. And it's really, really nice. It's really fresh, but it's very kind of cold smelling. It's not like a warm pine, it's not a warm mint, it's not like an indoor tree, it's like an outdoor sort of snowy scene. They have other things from the Body Shop range in this scent, but I don't know if you can get this anymore. You might be able to get it in stores if you live somewhere that's a little bit more provincial. If you live in central London or you shop in central London, the chances are you won't be able to get hold of this, but I imagine in other parts of the country they'll still have it in some of the stores, but it's definitely sold out online, unfortunately. But it's really, really cute. So I had that on, and then it kind of started to get colder quite quickly. So I went for, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put this one over here, surrounding the tree, as it were. And then I went for, I've started to go full Christmas. This was so fun to wear, and it's warm and it's sweet. The Library of Fragrance used to be called Demeter, but I think now they're just going by the Library of Fragrance, and this is Cinnamon Bun. This is a cologne spray, so it's not the longest lasting, but it is actually quite strong, and it does smell exactly like a cinnamon bun. It has a slight breadiness, but it's not enough. It doesn't lean into the biscuit realm, so it doesn't bother me, and it doesn't lean into pastry. It just has that slight warm bread smell about it. Buttery, definitely get the kind of the white icing, the drizzled white icing that has I think that white icing is normally made with butter and icing sugar, so you can really smell that, and it's very strong in the cinnamon, and it was really fun. Really enjoyed wearing it. Smelt very edible. I would say when I reviewed this, what I said was that I anyway get a kind of burnt rubber smell on my skin a little bit after it dries down, but it doesn't last, and I had that again. It just kind of, at first it smells exactly like a cinnamon bun, then it goes through a very short period of time of smelling a bit like burnt rubber and then that goes away, and then it dries down to just be a kind of lovely sweet cinnamon and icing smell. I don't think it remains too buttery, it doesn't remain too kind of bready, but you get that kind of sugary cinnamon smell, which is super, super fun. Really, really fun to wear that one. So that was Sunday. Oh, the notes in this, sorry. So the notes are, for cinnamon bun, milk, cinnamon, wheat and vanilla and sugar. And I mean, it smells exactly like those notes would suggest. Then on Sunday, really went cold. So had to pull out something delicious and perfect for cold weather and super, super snuggly. So I went for Adam Levine for women. And this is the one that I just think is just a very sweet sandalwood and marigold smell. I just absolutely love this one. It's so perfect for cold weather if you feel kind of miserable, because it's kind of cheerful, but it's got a slightly vintage smell to it at the same time as not really, when it dries down, smelling like a typical vintage perfume, if you see what I mean, because it is sweet and kind of creamy, and it's a slightly modern take on something that's a bit samsara-y, you know. But so the notes here are top notes of spices, marigold, saffron and citruses, middle notes Australian sandalwood, Indian jasmine, rose petals, base notes vanilla and benzoin. And I have to say with this one, this is just such a good sandalwood perfume that I sort of feel like I don't need to sort of keep trying the more vintage ones, because I would say, like, if you've always wanted to wear something like Calvin Klein's Obsession and you want something that's a bit spicy and a bit woody, but those old vintage ones, I mean, for me, I can't wear Samsara just because there's so much jasmine in it, but I think that's still a very beautiful perfume. But if you like the idea of a woody, warm perfume and you don't want to get Stash by Sarah Jessica Parker, because that's, I think, my absolute favourite woody perfume, and you want something really sweet, then this is a really safe bet. This is like a really, really nice and easy to wear, very sweet, beautiful, powdery sandalwood. And I just love marigold. I love marigolds in perfumes. I've got 3 now that are very strong in marigold, and I absolutely love them. I'm actually wearing one today, but that's for next week's what I wore. It's just, the vanilla in it's really quite heavy in terms of making it sweet, but it's not necessarily noticeable as vanilla, if you see what I mean. Like, if you told me it was tonka bean, I'd be like, oh yeah, fair enough. But I wore this all of Sunday because it's absolutely delicious. It's super, super comfy. And yeah, I mean, I really like wearing this one at home because there's something so yummy about it, and it's a really nice perfume to wear when you're just kind of watching TV under blankets or like snuggling up, you know. It's just very warm and comforting, I think, this one. So that was a Sunday. And then Monday to work in the snow. So it's the first time I've had to go to work in the snow for quite some time. You know, and even with the pandemic, you know, if we had a few snowy days, it was normally like working from home, like furloughed, or, you know. So I just needed comfort, and this is one of my absolute favourite comfort perfumes nowadays. This is one that you've probably seen so many times, do I even need to explain it? This is Stash by Sarah Jessica Parker. This is the Unspoken flanker from that. I love it. Do you know what? The colour is what it smells like. It looks like a cosy, comforting sort of rose goldy heaven. So this perfume, the notes are top notes of quince and pink pepper, although I don't find this peppery at all, to be honest. I think it just gives it a bit of warmth. Middle notes, honeysuckle, peony and wisteria. I definitely get the honeysuckle. I get the quince a little bit. It stops it being too sharp, but again, this isn't like massively citrusy to me. Base notes, tonka bean, sandalwood, musk and olibanum, and that is, I think, where the main kind of vibe of this sits. A lot of tonka bean, powdery, warm, creamy sandalwood, a beautiful warm musk, like a golden musk kind of smell. A slight smokiness on the olibanum, but very, very, not very much at all. And then honeysuckle. So a sweet floral, you know. It's just so, so beautiful. I just wear it constantly. I love it. I have a backup because I absolutely love it. I know I'm going to get through it. You can get this in the UK at the moment. It just came back into stock on some of the, it might be Look Incredible or the beauty.com, is it? I can't remember, but it's definitely worth Googling because you can get these for well under £30. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw one for £16 the other day, like for 100ml. And I cannot tell you, I mean, if you watch me regularly, I have told you a million times, it's so comforting. It's sweet and cozy and beautiful. And it's an insane bargain for that, and it lasts really well, especially in cold weather. I just think it's really yummy. I really like it. So anyway, so I wore that on Monday, all of Monday, and then I actually wore it again on Tuesday because we had our Christmas party at work on Tuesday. So I knew I was going to wear something different in the evening, and I was like, okay, I think I've got an idea of what I'm going to wear. And I wanted something that wouldn't clash with it if any of it was remaining kind of in my hair or on my skin, but also one that I knew if I put it on at like 8 o'clock in the morning, by the time I want to spray something else on at 6, like I wouldn't really be able to smell it anymore. So this was kind of perfect for that. And then in the evening, I thought it'd be really fun to wear this Revolution. It's Makeup Revolution, I think. It's Revolution Beauty London. This is Passion, and this is their dupe of Tom Ford's Black Orchid, and I think it's a really good dupe for Black Orchid. It does not have the lasting power, it's not as beastly, but in terms of the actual scent profile, I think this smells just like it. And you can see I didn't really need to use much for the evening. Yeah, I mean, it just smells so much like it, and it weirdly, this smell and Black Orchid, they remind me of my childhood, and I'm not sure why, but I feel like it smells like it's not that it smells like a vintage perfume, but it smells like a kind of, I mean, I guess people would call a 90s perfume vintage nowadays, which makes me feel very old. But I think maybe a 90s, early 2000s kind of vibe to this. I don't think it smells like a typical modern perfume. And I think that's why it smells kind of dark and a bit mysterious, you know? And it's got that kind of slightly old school vibe without it being like my version of vintage, which is kind of like the old Chanels, you know, and, you know, Youth Dew, that kind of thing. So the notes that are listed for Passion are woodsy notes, chocolate, spices, earthy notes, and amber. And obviously that's very simplified for how this actually smells, because the Tom Ford is truffle, gardenia, blackcurrant, ylang ylang, jasmine, bergamot, mandarin orange, amalfi lemon, orchid, spices, gardenia, fruity notes, ylang ylang, jasmine, lotus, Mexican chocolate, patchouli, vanilla, incense, amber, sandalwood, vetiver, and white musk. I mean, there's so much. I'd say in this, maybe you get a little bit of white musk, maybe. I think you do get some orchid. You definitely get chocolate. You get spices. I wouldn't have recognised this as truffle, but there is an earthiness to it. So that's probably what that's from, and I kind of like that. I mean, I don't want to say mud because it's not as obvious as that, but it does have that kind of vibe to it. I don't know, I just think this one's quite sexy. My husband didn't come with me to the party, and he wasn't keen on Tom Ford's Black Orchid, so I was like, well, this is a good opportunity for me to just wear that somewhere else, and I found it really comfortable and easy to wear. I think this is nice, and you can get a whole, I mean, I don't need a bigger, I think this is a 10ml spray. I don't need anything bigger than this. Yeah, it's 10ml. Is it supposed to be eau de parfum, does it say? Eau de toilette. Oh, that's why it doesn't last particularly long. I mean, it was still like maybe 4 hours. I could still smell it on myself, so not bad at all. They're about, at the moment, between £5 and £10 for 100ml. So, and honestly, I went and smelt the Tom Ford one in the Tom Ford shop and took a little test card away from me, and it really is exactly the same kind of profile. So it's a really, really good option if you like that smell, or if you want to know what it smells like but you don't want to spend Tom Ford prices. And who does want to spend Tom Ford prices? They're absolutely outrageous. Okay, so that was Tuesday, and then Wednesday, feeling a little bit tired because it took me so long to get home in the snow, and I was so cold when I got home. Oh my goodness. I just needed comfort, and I went for French Lavender and Tuberose from the Vera Wang Embrace range. One of my absolute favourites. This is the one that really reminds me of the Maison Martin Margiela, the replica coffee break perfume. And that one, I mean, it's got coffee in it, but to me, when I smelt that, I thought it smelled a bit more like cacao, like chocolate. And this is a very sweet, creamy lavender smell, a little bit of tuberose, but mainly lavender, I'd say, with just like a sprinkling of cacao. That's what it smells like. So the notes are, top notes mandarin orange, definitely gives it a brightness and a freshness when you first spray it. Middle notes lavender and tuberose, base notes vanilla and cacao. And I mean, it's just so comforting and cozy and lovely. And actually, yeah, I think, I mean, it's much stronger in warmer weather. Like, it's way more noticeable, it has more sillage, but I think in colder weather it seems to last a little bit longer. So, you know, it's like swings and roundabouts, but I just absolutely love it. It's just absolutely delicious. So that was Wednesday, and then on Thursday, let's see, what was I up to? Oh yeah, so I'm celebrating because one of my absolute favourite YouTubers, like in my, basically I've got a couple of YouTubers that I get so excited about when I see they've got new videos, and Sarah Mays is one of them. I watch them immediately. I'm always very excited, and she just got the Skin Musk, which if you watch my channel regularly, you know that this is one of my absolute favourites. It's my favourite musk by a mile. I absolutely love this. I often wear it to bed, and I did actually wear it to bed. Oh gosh, it's so comforting and cozy. So I watched her video where she said that she'd just got this and that she loved it, and I was so excited. I was genuinely happy for her that she'd got this at last, because I just suspected that she'd really like it. So let me just move this one over here so we've got a bit more space. So I put it on before bed because I was just like, oh yay, and I could still smell it in the morning. And so I just sort of continued to wear it. I just put it on again first thing in the morning, and I was just all cozy because I was working from home on Thursday. And it was absolutely delicious. It only lists musk, sandalwood and floral notes for here. And I mean, that pretty much covers it, but I'd say there's probably vanilla in here. It's like a kind of golden, slightly soapy musk, but not at all shampooey. It's really comforting, really calming. It's just lovely. And actually, Sarah May said that it smells like the top of a baby's head after a bath. And you know, I've never had a baby. I'm not really a baby sniffer, but I've got nephews, and I do know that thing of like there's a certain smell of like baby heads that's very comforting and nice, sweet and nice. But that's how I also think that really freshly washed skin just generally smells like, and this is like your skin but better. I think that was like a really accurate way to describe the kind of vibe of this perfume. It's just absolute winner. I will always love Skin Musk, and hopefully it will always be in my collection. I hope they never ever stop making it. But anyway, so I was wearing that in the morning. I had a shower later on, and then I tested this. Now, this is Hugo Boss Deep Red Eau de Parfum for women. I have had this in my list of things I wanted to try for a really long time. I saw it come up somewhere finally for I think under £20. I can't actually remember where I got this from, to be honest, but it must have been on special, else I wouldn't have ordered it because I didn't really want to spend like 25 quid on it. People have described this as sexy. It's called Deep Red. They say it's good for like autumn, winter. It's really rich or whatever. I have not had that experience with this perfume. I'm extremely unimpressed with it. In fact, I don't want to sound harsh or anything, but I just I can't say I get it. I'm just going to try and lighten this up a little bit. There we go. It's getting a bit dark. So now what I'm going to say is this: the very, very deep dry down of this, so by the time that you can really only smell it when you put your whole face into your arm, that's when I think this smells its best. That's when I think it's quite a nice smell, and because that's when you get the sort of creamy, vanilla-y, sweet, musky dry down. But before that, I don't understand what the fuss is with this. I think it's really weak. I think it has a unpleasant, slightly kind of burnt rubbery, synthetic smelling wood. I think the cedar is much stronger. It's just coming through in a really well, that went in my mouth and all over the bottle. Okay, so I've got the blood orange in the top because I was genuinely hoping that this would give me the kind of vibe that I get from my what's it called, from the Oriflame Feel Good, the one that's turmeric and blood orange. I wanted that kind of vibe because this notes in this blood orange, blackcurrant, clementine, pear, mandarin orange. Middle notes ginger, ginger flower, tuberose, freesia, hibiscus seed. Base notes vanilla, sandalwood, musk and California cedar. Now if you take out the cedar from that, I should absolutely love this perfume. And I was hoping it would be deep and rich. It's not. It's incredibly light. It's fruity at first. I'm getting quite a lot of clementine actually today. Way more than blood orange. I really don't get much ginger here. I'm really sad. I'm not getting lots of ginger. When it dries down, I'm not getting much ginger. I mean, it's just so light. It's almost like some kind of tea perfume or something. The vanilla does not come through for quite a long time. And I don't really get it, is all I can say about this one. I don't entirely understand. It might just smell dreadful on me. But on the card, honestly, super light. It's like a light citrus. That's what I get from this. I think this is something I would imagine smells way better in warm weather. I would never think of this as an evening perfume. This very much smells like a daily kind of light perfume to me. And you start getting more tuberose as it dries down, but it just... but it's when that cedar starts coming through, I just think it starts to smell masculine. And I have read a few reviews of this, and I think quite a few people have said that it smells masculine to them. And I'd like to say that's because of the ginger, because I know ginger is something that's quite often in colognes, but it's just... it starts to smell a bit synthetic in a weird way, and I think that might be the woods. And the other thing I'm going to say is straight up, now that the florals are coming through a bit more, this just smells like Hugo Boss Woman Eau de Parfum. The one in the round bottle with the kind of red around the outside. That's exactly what I think this smells like. I think the only difference I can really grasp is that you get a bit more clementine in the beginning, and then in the very deep dry down, the vanilla starts to come through. And to be fair, this is a really pretty vanilla here. This is a really nice, creamy, warm, nice vanilla, but it's very light. It's got no projection. I couldn't smell it very much on me, to be honest, and what I could smell was kind of ruined by the wood. But like later on, by the time when it was basically wearing off, that's when I could smell that vanilla. But yeah, I'm having a look on Fragrantica. You can't see on this deep red thing that it's been compared to Woman, Hugo Boss Woman. But if you go and look at Hugo Boss Woman, which I did because I was like, this just smells so much like it, a lot of people have said that this smells like Hugo Boss Woman. So yeah, I mean, and that is like famously like a freshie, so it's kind of weird that this one's considered like a sexy evening perfume. I don't get it. Maybe this has been reformulated. Again, like people compare it to Hypnotic Poison. I would say no. This is way too light. It's way too citrusy. It's been compared to L'Entité Rouge, and that is a much closer match, except for that in L'Entité Rouge, I think that one's got a lovely fruitiness. It's got a little bit of ginger, but that one's got patchouli, and I really don't... I'll do a video of them, but I've got the L'Entité perfumes in little samples, and the patchouli really takes everything over there in a way that makes me sad. But it does also have like quite a vanilla-y sweet dry down, so I think that's quite a good comparison. But this one's cheaper, so if you like L'Entité Rouge, and I think that makes a bit of sense. It's been compared to Amour Amour, the original, not so much. But I think Hypnotic Poison, I think the only things that link those two are that the very, very deep dry down of this is kind of slightly vanilla-y, slightly powdery. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're comparable particularly, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not going to keep this one. It's not worth waiting for the very deep dry down, I'd say, because there's probably lots of other kind of lovely vanilla-y perfumes I could wear. So yes, not for me. So that was Thursday. And the other thing I tried it just came in this tiny little bag. So I ordered these weeks and weeks ago, but I think they're made freshly for each order. And this is I ordered a load of oils from Simon's Nest on Etsy. So this is a lady called I think she's called Autumn. Yeah, Autumn Simons, and she makes these cool little. You can get these little roller balls. You can get different sizes, I think, but I got these little roller balls, and for the life of me, I can't remember what actual size these are. I think they might be 5 ml. I got a whole bunch. They took a really long time to arrive, so I haven't had time to do an actual review, and also the shop is now closed, so I can't do a review because the shop's closed and I can't get you the notes, so I can't even tell you the notes of this here. But what I can tell you is that unfortunately a lot of them smell biscuity to me, so they're not going to work. Now this one has a slight biscuity edge, and I hope I can get past it, because I think this one smells like, this is Still Beating Heart, if I didn't say. This is a perfume oil, and I think this one smells like Ribena and marzipan with a slight biscuity vibe in the background. And I did try this on, and it was a bit of a fight between my hatred of biscuit smells and my desire for a really good marzipan perfume that hasn't got like jasmine in, because apparently almondy, marzipan-y smells always seem to have jasmine. Yeah, whether I can get past the biscuit thing or not, I don't know, but the general vibe of this is very pretty, and it really does have that kind of Ribena-y blackcurrant. So this one, there's something really enthralling about it to me, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm not sure. But as soon as I can get the notes up again, I will do a review of all the different ones I got from this shop on Etsy. But at the moment, that's not a possibility because I can't get the notes. So, so I tried that. I think that one I just put on before bed, and I was like, oh, kind of like it, kind of don't. I don't know. So yeah, I'll give it another go at some point. And then on Friday, I went for this one because, again, I just kind of needed a lavender cozy one, because it was -5, I think, overnight again, and it was -2 when I left for work. It was so cold. I was trying not to skid and die on the because it's just all of the compacted snow and all of the slush has just frozen into ice. So it's almost like skidding to the tube. It's really quite frightening, and I wanted to chill out, because I get very anxious about the idea of falling over just before Christmas, and ended up in traction when I want to be and see my family. So this and this one smells so much. I mean, I haven't actually smelled Mongolon in real life, but I'm assuming this one smells like Mongolon just because this one smells so much like Guess Seductive Noir. And the only notes listed for this are lavender, vanilla and cedar, and that's pretty much what it smells like. So it's super unisex, it's really nice, and I'd say that Guess Seductive Noir, I think, has that kind of slightly masculine edge that along with the kind of very sweet vibe of it, makes that kind of, it can lean either way, but therefore it's kind of unisex, if you see what I mean. Because this one smells absolutely fabulous on my husband as well. He smells delicious in this. But it was just, it was so comforting, it was so good. I had like a massive blue sweater on, like a huge jumper and a massive puffer jacket, and it was just one of those days where it was just so chilly. I just needed something. Sorry if I just hit my microphone. I'm trying to get used to the fact that I've got one that now I've got like a little thing I can attach it to, so it stays near my mouth. But of course that just means I keep hitting it. Always the way. But anyway, so yeah, chill out, really nice, easy to wear, very cheap and cheerful. You can get them from Notino. And I mean, I think it's so close. If you can get this for less than a tenner, then it's 50 ml. It's probably worth going for this one rather than going for Seductive Noir. But if you can't get it for cheap, then you might as well just get Seductive Noir, because that one's really easy to find. You can get it for maybe like 15 quid. It's slightly stronger, lasts a little bit longer, but not massively so. So I think they could be quite interchangeable, because although that one's supposed to be sage, it just smells like lavender. It smells so much like this. When I got that one to try, I haven't sold it on yet, but I mean, I just don't need it because I've got this and I like this one a bit better. So yeah, this is what I wore this week. And then coming up, I'm going full Christmassy, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going back to my family's on Friday lunchtime this week. So I am going to get up in the morning. Tell you what, I'm going to record this video before I leave for the West Country, and I'll try and get it uploaded so that this should be ready and come out on YouTube on Sunday, which will be Christmas. Was that Christmas Day? Yes, Christmas Day. So my next What I Wore Last Week, although I will record it early, will come out on Christmas Day. So up until then, I think I've got some things I'm doing. I think I've lined up a video pretty much every day now until the new year. So basically, well, maybe not next week, but once we get towards Christmas, I've got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. I've got like a different video for each one, so you'll see them coming up soon. And yeah, so I'll be back soon with a very, very Christmassy one of these.